Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report. The conversation inside the building isn't about headlines. It's about third downs, red zone spacing, and a veteran receiver who turns chaos into first downs by winning leverage the boring way. Release, stem, snap, hands. I'm going to show you why this specific profile fits what Detroit needs for the stretch run, how the cap and draft pick math could actually work, and what a realistic timeline looks like with the trade deadline staring at us. Hang with me to the end. I'll put a name on it when it matters and tell you exactly the role I see if this happens. Here's the pulse check I trust. This offense wins on schedule when the run game tilts the box and play action builds layered throws. But when defenses live in too high, squeeze the seams on 3rd and 6, and bank on rally and tackle, we still need one more adult in the receiver room who can sit in traffic, take contact, and move the sticks without asking the quarterback to become a magician every series. I'm talking about a chain mover with route density, outs, digs, sticks, crossers, pivots, and the patience to set up a cornerback 3 steps before the break. Some guys win with speed. This profile wins with truth in the details and trust in the moment. That's why the front office has been studying a veteran wideout who brings 3 things that travel in January. 1, a PhD in leverage against man. 2, the courage to work between the hashes where linebackers live. And 3, a red zone toolbox built on body position, not jump ball hope. Add in a quiet but real willingness to block on the edge, and you get the kind of receiver coaches trust when the headset crackles and the call sheet shrinks. Now the market reality. The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday, November 4 at 4 p.m. ET. The player I'm talking about wanted a new deal before this season, even made a trade request, and didn't get that raise. Despite missing Week 7, he's been leading his team in targets, 40-plus already, which tells you the tape matches the reputation. Quarterbacks look for him when the picture gets muddy. League Buzz pegs his trade odds around 1-3. Translation: available enough to plan, uncertain enough to price with discipline. Let's talk fit before I drop the name. The Lions' passing tree is built on condensed formations, motion for clarity, and option routes keyed off safety depth. Our slot star is a volume monster who punishes space and option breaks DBs. Our vertical piece forces safeties to back up or live with explosives. Our tight end is a matchup problem on seams and overs. What's missing in the heaviest downs is the veteran possession target who can be an outside-in problem. A line outside to stress the corner, reduce the split to become a big slot on choice, then win the gray areas, between the numbers, inside the numbers, at the sticks. That player changes third down math and keeps drives alive after negative plays. All right, here's the name. Jakobi Meyers of the Las Vegas Raiders. 6'2", about 190, a physical route runner who welcomes heavy traffic catches and separates with craft, not gimmicks. In 2023, he posted 87 receptions for 1,027 yards. That's not projection, that's production. On tape, you see the same traits every week. Stams that tell lies, late hands so the corner can't play through the pocket, and an appetite for the intermediate middle most receivers avoid until contract year. He is simply quarterback-friendly. How would he be used here on day 1? Picture 11 personnel, condensed set, motion across to ID man or zone. If it's man, Meyers as the boundary Z runs the return at the sticks. Sell the out, stick the foot, pivot to daylight. If it's zone, he throttles between the hook and the flat, showing numbers and never drifting into danger. On 3rd and goal from the 7, stack him behind the point and run the rub slant. He understands timing and contact, which means touchdown without a jump ball prayer. On 2nd and 4 near midfield, reduce the split and run stick nod off play action. If the nickel squats, he's up the seam. If the nickel sinks, it's a simple stick for 5 and a fresh set. This isn't theory, it's a menu he already knows how to cook. Framing the role next to our core matters. Meyers doesn't steal from Amon-Ra St. Brown, he lightens the doubles and makes the safety hesitate on the pivot or the glance. He doesn't block the vertical lane for the speedster, he opens it by forcing bracket help to travel inside. He makes the tight end meaner because the hook defender has to honor the dig at 10 instead of buzzing to the seam at 12. And when we shift to 4-minute late, he's a willing blocker who turns outside runs into 8-yard body blows. That's how you wear people down in December. Contract and cap, quickly and plainly. This isn't a top-of-market deal that wrecks flexibility. It's a mid-tier veteran number, significant enough to matter, manageable if you're disciplined. In season, you're paying the prorated remainder, and you can pair an acquisition with a small outgoing salary to keep the books clean. Longer term, he's positioned to hit 2026 free agency if nothing changes, which gives Detroit optionality. Rent now and reassess, or explore an extension if the fit sings. Compensation. You don't move a premium first for a possession receiver. That's not smart football. But a conditional 2026 third that can escalate toward a second on playtime and production? That's the conversation. Add a late-round pick swap to sweeten. If Las Vegas wants a young, cost-controlled depth piece back, you listen, but you don't unwind your wideout room or special teams core to do it. And if a third team needs to eat a small veteran salary to match numbers, this front office can thread that needle without tearing the fabric. Let's go deeper on synergy. Meyers plus St. Brown turns choice concepts into coin flip nightmares for defenses. Double the slot in your isolated corner is tackling a 6'2 receiver on a hard in-breaker with the sticks at 8. Bracket the dig and the tight end runs free down the hash. Squat the curl and our back hits the rail you just widened. It's pick your poison football, and Detroit hasn't forced enough of those choices on third down. Blocking matters here, so put it on paper. Meyers is willing and technical as a perimeter blocker. Crack replace, toss crack, RPO bubbles where the slot becomes the lead. He's not a bystander when the call sheet says outside zone to the perimeter. That sells play action because DBs know our receivers don't check out. In Detroit, that's culture. Risk profile, because we don't do fantasy talk. 1. Target distribution. You don't take food off your stars' plates, you add a fork to the table. 2. Redundancy. There's overlap with other possession elements, but Meyers wins with nuance, not manufactured touches, so the overlap is additive. 3. Mid-season assimilation. The playbook is layered, he'll need the Tuesday night tablet grind to own the site adjustments. 4. Price creep. The Raiders aren't obligated to move him. If the market goes silly, you walk away and keep powder dry. That's discipline, not fear. Timeline and leverage. With the deadline looming, Las Vegas can posture that it will wait until after the season, especially with leadership that prizes process. But phones change positions. If an offer lands that preserves their flexibility and honors the player's value, they'll listen. From Detroit's side, this is not a have-to. It's a can sharpen a strength. The right move at the wrong price is still wrong. The right move at the right price can be the ounce of margin that separates a divisional exit from a conference title push. I'll be straight. If Detroit stands pat, this offense can still win plenty. But playoff football is a third down sport, a red zone sport, and a post-penalty get-back-on-schedule sport. Jakobi Meyers is built for exactly those snaps. Scouts call him quarterback-friendly. I call him drive insurance. If the price stays rational and the salary slot fits, I would green light it. Sound off, Lions fans. Is a conditional pick swing for a veteran possession receiver the smart push before November 4, or would you rather keep the powder dry for the offseason? Do you see him as more overlap or more multiplier next to our core? Drop your take below. I read every comment and I'll be in there with you. Quick professional close. League interest around Jakobi Meyers is real. The fit in Detroit is clean on tape and in culture. The money is workable with discipline, and the decision rests on price versus playoff margin. If you value honest film talk and real cap context, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, hit the alerts, and share this with the diehard next to you in Section 126. More calm updates and sharp breakdowns are coming. No fluff, just football.